What I'm about to say in this video will trigger some people. So if you are afraid of the truth, leave. Welcome to the promised land. Thank you for having me on the show, and we're not going to even wait. We're going to get right into the question. So it seems that you have a very different mindset or different belief from everyone else. Why is that? Alright, so that's a good question. 99% of basically everything that we know that created our belief system, things that we know were brought down to us from our ancestors, things that we believe. So your mother tell your mother, and your mother tell your mother. So you have to choose. When will we stop and say, where did this originated? Where did this come from? Then when you trace back the bloodline and the history, you realize your mother was born in a time when Africans were being colonized and forced to different islands to be slaves in large numbers. None of these Africans had the English dialect. None of them wanted to speak English either. And if you understand what happened when colonization happened, you would refuse to. You are telling me that my great-great-great-grandmother and grandfather forced come here, so they never talk English, them not even did want to talk English, and a man forced them come here, so force it on them and then force them to be slave too? You ever notice how real Rasta people always live long and them believe in a nature? Them man believe in a nature. You know why? Is a rebel against colonization and fake tradition and belief. You ever hear about whitewash tradition? The same way how they changed our culture by colonization is the same way how they changed our religion. The same way they changed our language and spread propaganda on our true origin just to keep us away. Just like how they told Lie and Maroons and Nanny, said Nanny used to bring back slave when them escape from the plantation. So them tell the slave them on the plantation that if them run away, Nanny are gonna bring them back anyways. So the slave them are gonna say, right here, it don't make no sense to run away then. But that was all propaganda. So them use fear for control, which is a weapon of the devil. Good leaders don't lead by fear. Good leaders don't force their leadership upon people. A good leader lead by example, impact, and respect. Some people will definitely be triggered by this, but it's the truth. What are your thoughts on the schooling system? My thoughts on school. School to me is, school can be a colonization and brainwashing tool if the leaders are weak and afraid to stand up to colonial masters. And I think most schools are in Jamaica. We don't need a certificate to hold us hostage to this colonial system to decide how good we are. If our ancestors, Nanny and all was fight to keep our African tradition, is most a reason. I would like to keep my African tradition and culture. I am an African living in Jamaica under colonial laws. It doesn't matter what kind of propaganda they want to spread on Nanny and the rest of the heroes, because if Nanny and all of those heroes never fight, we wouldn't have any money to spend. We would still be slaves. So just remember, anytime you remember the Maroons, just remember you wouldn't have physical freedom without them. The core of us that came here during the heights of African supremacy, if they had a reason to stand up against this, then it's most a reason why. If they gave their life for this cause, and you just look upon it as a story in a book, a man boss couldn't take into to change his name, and you just sit down and think it's a story and not realize and see the message where the ancestors then left for you. You need to start study and understand nature. Understand nature and understand spirituality, because we are spiritual beings. The questions are directed to me, but I have a question for the world leaders. What does your geographical location has to do with your bloodline? Your geographical location don't have anything to do with your bloodline. The place where you were born does not decide who your family is or who your ancestors are. Simple maths. The place where you were born does not decide who you are. People are not products for them to decide whether we are A, B, or C, or D grade. That is not for you to decide. Everyone has their own strengths and weakness. Everyone is unique in their own specific category. I will die a proud African, and I will continue to fight for African traditions as my ancestors did because of what they had to go through. And I always tell people, you don't even know what is your name. You don't know your name. You think your name was your name, but you don't know, you don't name what your name. Your great-great-grandfather was forced to Jamaica, didn't speak English. If you can't speak English, you can't have an English name. Never talk English, he never even did want to learn English. So somebody force him come here, so force him to talk English and give him an English name. And so come you get English name. So film real name, that is your real name. You're probably a royalty and not even know. Basically how it happen is, them colonize you. Colonization, if you never know, them change your religion, your culture, your belief. Then change all of them, they say your religion, your culture, your belief have to reflect the nation that is colonizing you. So that is what happened when colonization happens. So we're colonized by the English, we have to take on for them religion, culture and language. So in order to get independence, even though independence is not real, independence is not even real. What is independence? You always have to depend upon somebody. You have to depend upon the boss for the check. You have to depend upon a man to pay your money. In order for rich, you have to depend upon somebody to buy something from you if you're rich. In order, you have to depend upon a man for watching video for views, to get this so you can earn. Everybody is a dependent world, and if you say you're independent, you're going against the word of your own God. So you can't independent and dependent. That is confusion. If we want to get back the freedom, we have to change back to the original language, culture and religion. That is what them really mean when them say independence. But independence is not real. Our ancestors never fight for independence. They fight for freedom and to keep them culture, traditions and religion. That in language, them tradition and them religion, that's what they fight for. To keep them own culture, language and religion. Them fight for them freedom. Them never fight for independence. A man, we can't even cuss about us. So a man literally lynch, burn your ancestors. A man literally beat your ancestors with some whip when make out all type of skin. Just imagine you did get them licked there if you change your name. Imagine you did a burn up in one little cage. A man literally gas you and light you if you change your name so our next man can see it and afraid and change your name because fear been a control for a long time, but it's just less aggressive. You get more modern. Remember, you know, all our ancestors came here with their own names, their own language, their own culture, their own religion, their own everything. So the colonization is what caused the English and all of these different things. An African man literally living in the English image. An African living in English life. I am living a false reality at this point. This is not my culture, not my language, not my religion. I am living as a straw man. But the saddest part about it is not even that. We live in it. The saddest part is we don't even know. We don't know. And a lot of people will never find out. Because that is the aim of the system. To keep you colonized and suppress the males so they don't have any flash kickback. They don't want anyone who can stand up and oppose it. They want you to live a lie and just continue living a lie and acting like chasing the physical realm when truth be you're a spiritual being. Remember, you know, your ancestors, my ancestors, all of the African ancestors did not speak English. They did not have English name. They had their African religion, African culture, African language before they were colonized, before they were forced to change it. This is why Nani and the Maroons were fighting, not to be independent, but to be free of colonial powers. So your last name will change. You're goodly a royalty. Me goodly rich. My family goodly a billionaire of Africa. But me don't know. Because some motherfucker claims say him a colonize people. Why would I want to support someone who is telling me to take injections for a fake disease? Telling me to freak out the girls because that's what they want. Telling me all type of madness. Telling me Jesus is white. All type of madness. Why would I join with the king of deception? Why would I join with the devil? And apparently this is what Andrew Holness has become. At this point, Andrew Holness is worse than the colonial masters. Without him, they could not control us because they cannot do it themselves. Them have to use one of us, aka the bossy slaves. So him worse than the colonial master because without him, them wouldn't have the whole where them have pan we. Without all of them prime minister here. So me really feel like it even matter who you vote for if them can run it under the same colonial legacy. It don't make no sense. At that point, we still just a big business products for them benefit of. Nothing that they say we benefit we as the country, as the people with the pan this archipelago. Nothing that benefit we if we are running it under the same colonial rules. Then sometimes we say things like my ancestors are my God. And people get vexed because them not understand say for them ancestors and for them God too. Because humanity is a seed from God. So your great ancestor, your greatest grandfather are God. So your ancestors are your God same way. Who made us in his own image. And really and truly, if you were to ask yourself, who am I? You would buck up at the name that you had. But your name is not who you are. Your name was given to you. But who are you? We are spiritual beings living, having a physical experience in a temporary body. But our imagination and consciousness is immortal, much like God who made us in his own image. Things that makes up your belief system will decide how conscious you are and aware of your surrounding and life in general, and the level of consciousness that you have that will decide your future. Remember to like and subscribe.